What's going on, everyone? Talen here, and welcome to another Marvel Future Fight video. Alright, so in this video here, I'm actually going to be going over my characters and the CTPs that I have on them, and just kind of saying if I regret putting the CTP on them, and who's going to be like getting their CTPs unequipped, because at the time of filming this, we do have discount right now, so we have half off for custom equipment removal. So I figured this is a good time to kind of go through my roster, see who has what on them, if I use the character, if I like the character and how they perform, and just that kind of thing. My account, so you get a reference, is mainly just PvE focused. I hardly do any PvP at all. So characters that mainly you would see in PvP, maybe I have them built for PvE, just because, again, I don't do PvP very much, so I don't really feel the need to actually build those characters. But I might be changing that a little bit, because I do have some CTPs of regen and CTPs of, well, I guess authority is not really used much, but CTPs of regen that could use a home. So I'll see if I might change around my roster, and I'm thinking of just seeing who all has rages on and if they really deserve it, see if there's a better option for that character. So kind of that's what we have at the start here. So all these characters you see starred are characters that are on the chopping block for having their CTPs removed. Of course, the three tier 3s non-awake, or the three tier 2s non-awakened and everything, those ones are definitely getting their CTPs removed. I don't know why I have CTPs on those three characters. I could definitely be using those on my tier 3s. So yeah, they're definitely having it removed. So let's go ahead and take a look here. We'll start, of course, at the start, so I can just flip through. So Sentry has a rage on, and it seems like Sentry's damage has kind of fallen off a little bit, so that's why I've kind of thinking of removing this. I'm not 100% convinced I'm going to yet. I'm going to be trying him out before I remove the CTP of rage, just get a feel of where his damage actually is compared to my characters nowadays, because I don't use him a ton to really kind of feel if his power level has kind of diminished compared to some of the newer characters that I use all the time. So Sentry is going to be a maybe, depending on how well he performs when I test him out, which will be a separate video. So I'm going to have all these kind of videos up. We have the discount going on right now, so I'm going to be recording a lot of videos in probably one day here, and then just releasing them kind of periodically throughout as time goes on, basically. So they're not going to be all released at once, so you might be seeing some of these videos later on, but I'm still curious to have any of your suggestions on who you think are really good options for rages and energies are mainly what I'm looking at today. And also they need to be PvE focused, so characters that are good at pushing, like Null, Mephisto, or Ultron. So that's my kind of goal here. So Sentry is one that's up on chopping board. Quicksilver, just because I feel like he's kind of fallen off and he doesn't do a ton of damage, and I might put the CTP on somebody else that's a better option. But another one that's like Sentry, I want to test him out just to make sure that his damage is kind of as low as I kind of think it is compared to other characters. And then Doctor Doom, I know Doctor Doom is strong. He has a rage on, and it's just his playstyle. I don't like his playstyle for the accumulation. I'm not very good at playing Doctor Doom, so I can usually not take too well advantage of that accumulation where he gets that nice burst damage. So that's the main reason why I'm considering taking this off of Doctor Doom. Again, it's another character I'm going to try out again, because I never really played him enough. I just didn't like his playstyle, so he kind of just been sitting here gathering dust. So I do need to play him a few times to see if I can maybe get into a rhythm with him, or if he's just really not clicking with me, and that will be the reason why I removed the CTP of Rage from Doctor Doom here. Dormammu, his damage just seems low to me, so I'm thinking I'm going to take it off of him, but I'm probably actually going to wait on Dormammu, so he might not have his unequipped during the unequip event, because he might be getting a uniform. And if he gets a uniform, he could be really strong, and then I will regret taking the CTP of Rage off him. So Dormammu is probably actually going to stay in that, I think about it. Black Widow, she was just kind of a fun character where I'd wanted to try her out with Rage. Her damage is not holding up. It was good when I first put the Rage on her, and she was fun to use, but now I don't know. It seems like there's better options, so she's probably going to have hers removed again. I'm going to be testing her. Mystique here. I mean, I pretty much exclusively use her as support, so this CTP of energy is not really getting any use. I might as well just put a CTP of insight on her, is kind of my thinking for Mystique here. I want to test out her damage again, though, just to see where it's at now, because she still doesn't even have a uniform. If she gets a uniform, her damage could be really good, but her damage, I'm guessing, is probably pretty low. I haven't played her in a while, but yeah, she's a pretty old character now, so I can't really see the damage really standing up. And then Spider-Woman. Spider-Woman, I've just been very, very disappointed with in terms of her damage. Her damage has been very underwhelming, so I don't think she deserves a judgment, so that's why I'm taking this off of her. Again, I'll probably get to record a couple videos with the judgment on before I take it off, just to have those on the channel. And then I already said why I'm taking off Negasonic. She can't participate in World Boss Ultimate, which is my main goal, or World Boss Legend, excuse me. So that's my main goal. So since she can't do that, I'm going to be taking off her. I still think she's a pretty fun character to use. It's just, yeah, I can't use her against Null, Mephisto, or Ultron. Same thing with Arrow here. She does have a Transcendence, but it's not one I don't think I'm going to do, because I don't know. I just think there's better options. So I've decided against Arrow, even though I was going to do her at one point, but now I'm like, there's other characters I prefer over her. And then Doc Voodoo, again, just, he's a tier 2. I mean, so yeah, he doesn't need this CTP of energy. Somebody else could definitely use it. So now, moving on to the other characters, and basically, we'll just go through them and say if I'm happy with how they're performing, or if I think that I either regret tier 3ing them or regret putting a CTP on them. Mephisto, no, I don't regret putting a CTP on him, and I don't regret getting him as his tier 3. Same thing with Null. I really do like Null, so CTP of Rage and having him at tier 3 I'm happy with. Warlock, I'm actually really happy with how Warlock's been performing, so I'm very happy I ranked him up and put a Rage on him. Odin, yeah, I mean, Odin is a beast. Definitely not regretting Odin. I don't regret Proxima either. She's super strong. Scarlet Witch, yeah, I mean, I love Scarlet Witch, so no regrets here. Definitely happy I tier 3'd and put a Rage on her. Thanos is one I haven't tried yet. I just kind of randomly tier 3'd him when I was kind of overflowing with, well, can't really overflow with them, but when I was maxed on all my books, I'm like, I'm running all these and I'm not taking advantage of this. I could be getting books when I'm not getting books, so who can I tier 3 that might be fun to use? I was like, you know what, Thanos just got a uniform kind of recently. Let's go ahead and get him the tier 3. So he's one that I want to try out. During this unequip event, I'm probably going to put a Rage on him, see what he can do with this uniform, and then unequip it if I'm not happy. Apocalypse, I'm happy with Apocalypse, but he has kind of fallen off a bit in power. Not really enough that I think I'm going to take the Rage off of him, because I do still like Apocalypse. So, but yeah, he's kind of getting a little old there in terms of keeping up with some of the characters nowadays. Cable is another recent tier 3. Just with the 7th anniversary, when we had the uniform discount, I picked up his uniform and tier 3'd him then. And that was, again, because I was maxed out on books and I was looking for someone to tier 3, and then I knew I was going to be doing the unequipping of all these CTPs going through my characters. I was like, Cable has a CTP of energy on him. He's only been at tier 2 and he is good at tier 3. So you know what? I'm just going to tier 3 him so I don't have to unequip his energy, and that was my thought process. So I haven't tried him out or done any videos on him yet. So I'll definitely do that in the future. And then Jean, I don't regret tier 3ing Jean. I love Jean. She's super strong. She's been a beast in PvP when I do play PvP, so I've been very happy with how she performs there. I used to use her in PvE all the time, but yeah, her damage has fallen off, so that's the main reason. And of course, no CTP on. Wolverine, I just like Wolverine, so I don't regret tier 3ing him, even though I could be getting more use out of him. Actually, he's good in PvP now, isn't he? So maybe I'll put like a regen or something on him. Let me know what Obelisk is best, or CTP is best on Wolverine for PvP, because that's probably where I'm going to use him, because I don't think he has much value in PvE content. Doctor Strange, I don't regret Doctor Strange either. He's got me through a lot of content from when I first tier 3'd him, and he's been amazing with a Rage on, so yeah. Deadpool. Deadpool is one of my favorite male characters, I guess, in the Marvel Universe, so yeah, Deadpool. Very happy with Deadpool. I've never given him a CTP, I don't think. I think he maybe had a destruction on at one point, but that's about it. So now that I have this uniform, I wanted to try him out with Rage just to see what he could do. So that's another thing I'm probably going to be doing during this unequip event. Namor. So Namor had a Rage, but I unequipped it from him just because his damage has been falling off, so I have been kind of disappointed with him, and he's just very squishy and just died really easy, so I just wasn't playing him very much, so I was like, you know what, I'm putting this Rage on someone else. So that's Namor. But when I first since I tier 3'd him, I've gotten a lot of value out of him, so I definitely don't regret tier 3'ing him. Cyclops, he was a free one that we just got from the selector because I wasn't going to tier 3 Cyclops on my own because I just don't really like Cyclops. He's just support, as you can see, C2 Insight, so I don't regret that because he is an amazing support. Emma, no, do not regret ranking up Emma or giving her CTP of Judgment. I love Emma. Professor X. I don't use him as much as I used to. When I first ranked him up, I used him a lot, and I was very happy with him with CTP of Energy, but now I don't know. I just don't use him much. But I still don't regret him because I got a lot of use out of him. I just don't use him a lot now, so I'm probably going to still keep that energy on him. Storm. So Storm, I like Storm as a character. I'm not really sure. She's one that I'm like kind of regret tier 3ing just because she turned out to be kind of underwhelming, and I don't really use her at all. I just kind of use her as an elemental support when the need arises. I just put a Mighty Greed on her just to give her something because I wanted to give all my tier 3s something good, but I quickly found out I don't have enough CTPs to really do that, so that's kind of Storm here. She's one that I kind of regret, and if she gets a new uniform, hey, maybe she'll be back to being really strong. Rogue, I do not regret Rogue. I love Rogue. I use her in a lot of stuff. Carnage is just, he's one I hardly ever use, but when I used to use him, I remember him being really good. I don't know what his damage is like now because I haven't used him like, gosh, I used him when Null and Mephisto maybe first, or when Mephisto first came out was probably the last time I used him. So I haven't really tested his damage in a while. But I used to love using him. He used to be really strong. It's just he died really easily, I think is why I kind of stopped using him. So I'll have to check his damage again. Hulk. Hulk just has CTP of Refinement just because I like Hulk, so I don't regret tier 3ing him, but I don't use him anywhere. Yeah, maybe I'll put a CTP of Regen on him because I think I still have, what, I got like three CTPs of Regen that I can give to people, so he might be a candidate for that. But yeah, I don't really use him much, but again, that's because my focus is PvE content, so if the character's good in PvP, I just hardly ever use him. Sharon, no, I do not regret Sharon. She's been a beast in PvE. Iron Man, he was one of the free selectors that we got for tier 3 because I wasn't really going to rank him up on my own just because I didn't really see much value in him, but the superior Iron Man uniform really brought him up, and since he got this uniform, I do not regret having a CTP of Energy on him because his uniform is really good. Star-Lord, he's part of the quest, but I actually ended up really liking him when he first came out. His damage has fallen off, but when he first came out, he was actually really strong, and I was quite happy with his performance. I was yeah, so I was happy with tier 3 Star-Lord, so I don't regret doing the missions or ranking him up. I mean, we mainly did those for beta ray build, but yeah, I like Star-Lord. War Machine. So War Machine, man, I hardly have ever used War Machine since I tier 3'd him. It's like I made a video on him, and then I did him against like Nolan Mephisto, and then I've never touched the character again. I remember his damage being good. He's another character actually that I need to reacquaint myself with to see if he is worthy of keeping this energy, but I remember his damage being good, so I don't regret tier 3ing him because, yeah, I mean, I got some use out of him. And then we have Gwenpool. So Gwenpool, I haven't done much with after tier 3ing her. As soon as she had her tier 3 available, I knew I was going to tier 3 her because I liked Gwenpool quite a bit. And back then I just had the Holiday Party, which I really was curious to see what kind of damage the Holiday Party uniform could do at tier 3 or against Warboss Legend, I guess, in general, because it was super strong when she was at tier 2. So I was like, this uniform seems really good. If she had a tier 3, I bet she would destroy Warboss Legend. But then we got the April Pools, and well, that one kind of blows the Holiday Party out of the water. So yeah, she is super strong, and I'm definitely looking at putting some kind of CTP on her. Probably Rage, but I'm pretty sure Energy would work on her because she seems pretty damage proc friendly. I'll have to play her again, but yeah, she is really strong, and I do not regret tier 3ing her. Luna, I mean, don't really have to say anything about that. Luna is just amazing, PvE goddess, and yeah, do not regret it. SpiderMan, I really like SpiderMan, so I definitely don't regret tier 3ing SpiderMan. I mainly was using him in PvP when I did play PvP because he just wasn't super strong in PvE. He got me through some stuff early, like when his, Endgame first came out, or... I don't remember which one I started, what I was using with PvP, so Infinity War probably. Um, yeah, but he's just had this authority on for a while, but now with this black suit, he seems to be doing a lot of damage, so I did want to try him out with like a CTP of Rage or Energy just to see what we could do. So he's another character I want to kind of mess around with. White Fox, I mean, I ranked her up for support and I don't regret it. Winter Soldier, he was a free ticket if I remember correctly as well. No, he wasn't a free ticket. I think I ranked him up on, yeah, I ranked him up with my materials because I wanted a physical damage leadership. So that was pretty much the only reason I ranked him up, was for his leadership for War Boss Legend, because we didn't have many options for physical damage leaderships. And I don't regret ranking him up because of that, because I do use him as a leadership. In terms of his character by itself, yeah, he's not very good. So I definitely can't use him as like a regular DPS or anything like that. He's not good enough. Wong, he's my most recent tier 3, and I haven't tried him out at all yet, so that video is going to be done after I record this one. I'm going to be trying him out with a CTP of Rage on just to see what he could do, but ultimately, unless he performs like mind-blowing good with a CTP of Rage, I'm going to be putting a CTP of Insight on him and using him as support. Captain Marvel, do not regret Captain Marvel. I use her in so many things, and she's just really good with CTP of Rage. Even now, her damage is still pretty strong. I mean, it's fallen down the list, but she can still get the job done. Ghost Rider was one I just ranked up because there's a lot of hype around Ghost Rider, but I never ended up giving him a Rage or Judgment, and he's one that I do still want to give a Rage or Judgment to. It's just his survivability is quite low, and I don't know what his damage is like nowadays in terms of the current kind of rosters that we have going on. But he is one that I've been wanting to try for a while with a Rage or Judgment, because I know his damage used to be pretty insane. Alright, Icarus. Well, I got him ranked up because I wanted Athena. That's the only reason. So if I could have not ranked him up and got Athena, then I would have. So I do regret getting him to tier 3. They have a Mighty Greed on him just because I wanted to try that out just to see what I could do on him. I do regret putting it on him because he's still not great. He does decent with it, but I'm pretty sure somebody else would have put it to better use. So yeah, that's Icarus. Loki, he's my most recent one. He's the one I ranked up with the 7th year anniversary tier 3 selector that we got in the mail, and I don't regret it so far. I gave him a Rage, and he's been doing pretty well for me. So you know, I don't have enough matches under my belt yet with Loki to really go one way or the other, but right now I don't regret it. But again, it was with the selector, so it's not like I can regret using the selector on him when I didn't really have any other options. It's mainly the CTP of Rage that I'm kind of contemplating if it was a good decision or not. And Athena. I mean, I love Athena. I use her all the time in War Boss Legend, so I do not regret spending all the resources to get her, even though it was basically like a tier 3 and 4 transcend potentials worth of materials just to get her. So yeah, but I definitely don't regret her. Thor, I really like Thor. I don't regret ranking him up or putting a Judgment on him. Super Giant, amazing. Do not regret anything about Super Giant. Beta Ray Bill, like when I first got him, he was great, but now it's like I don't really use him, and I kind of fell off the Beta Ray Bill hype train very, very early on. I used him for like a couple of videos, and then I just stopped using him. So yeah, Beta Ray Bill, I do not really regret, but I kind of do because I just don't use him. So I didn't really need to even do the whole epic quest to get him. But then I wouldn't have had Star-Lord, and I think I actually liked Star-Lord more than Beta Ray Bill. X-23, I just like X-23, so that's why she has been transcended here. I don't regret using materials. I mean, she's not great, but I just like X-23, so that's why I don't regret ranking her up. Psylocke, amazing character, super strong with Judgment on. Do not regret it. She does some amazing damage. Gambit. When I first ranked him up, definitely don't regret it. Now I'm deciding if I want to take the CP of energy off him. I need to test out his damage again, but I'm pretty sure his damage has fallen off quite a bit. So Gambit is one that's going to be on the chopping block for losing his CTP of energy, because I don't think his damage is that great anymore. Doc Ock, he's one of my, actually not the most recent ones. I was going to say recent one. He just recently got the uniform. That's what I'm thinking of. Now that he has the uniform, I haven't tested him out at all. So I need to do some more testing on Doc Ock, but initial impressions, I think he's really strong with his uniform and one I want to try out with Rage. Moon Knight, I don't regret ranking up Moon Knight. I never really got into his playstyle, so that's why I never gave him like a CTP of energy or anything like that, just because, I don't know, his canceling never seemed to work for me. It always like kind of like glitch a little bit, like it wouldn't cancel quick enough for me to actually proc consistently enough. So that's why I never really used Moon Knight a lot. Um, Red Guardian, he was one that I just got from the free ticket. Yeah, just the Transcendent Selector ticket. We just picked someone, and I was like, all right, well, Red Guardian is one that I haven't put any resources in. He was still level 60, so I might as well use him. I haven't played him, not even once, so that shows you how much I care about him. I'll have to try him out once just to see what he's like, but right now, no, I haven't even tried him at all, and it was just, like I said, a selector. I wouldn't have ranked him up on my own accord. Sif. Do not regret ranking up Sif. I think she's amazing, and I actually like her with CTP of Rage. She does more damage than I thought she was going to do, so I've been pretty happy with Sif. Valkyrie, amazing support. Do not regret. Valkyrie. War Tiger was another one with the ticket, so the only other Transcendent ticket that we got, I used on War Tiger here, so again, I've never really used him, so kind of similar situation to Red Guardian. He's one that I should try out. Blue Dragon. I do like Blue Dragon. I got a lot of use out of her when I first ranked her up. Her playstyle is a little wonky, so it makes it kind of harder to consistently get your damage or proc on, but I do like Blue Guardian, or Blue Guardian, Blue Dragon, and yeah, just she's one I never put a CTP on, so never really tried her out, but you know, with the optimal setup, yeah, I mean, not bad. Sue here, so Invisible Woman. When I first ranked her up, she was really strong. Now she doesn't really do much at all. She only has a destruction on, which I'm not too fussed about. I have ample destruction, so don't regret that. I got my use out of her, so I definitely don't regret transcending her, but in terms of the character options we have nowadays, she's probably going to be really low on the list. What's his name? Kingo. Kingo, again, I just ranked him for Athena. I have hardly used him at all, and if I could get Athena without ranking him up, I would have skipped him. I don't really like him much, so yeah, not one that I'm a big fan of. Moonstone. Yeah, do not regret Moonstone. She is super strong, worthy of that CTP. Red Skull. I got use out of him when I first ranked him up. He's not great now. His power level's gone down quite a bit, but I mean, when I first ranked him up, yeah, I don't regret it. But nowadays, he would not be an option that's anywhere close to me considering. And just a CTB destruction, which I'm not fussed about, so that can just stay on him. Rescue. I haven't tried out Rescue much, but she seems to be performing pretty well. And another character that I'm curious to see how will perform with a CTP on. So yeah, don't regret her, but I haven't done enough testing to really see if she's worthy of a CTP yet. Cersei. Cersei, I was super hyped about, and I really like Cersei. But another one that's kind of like Doctor Doom, I don't really like her playstyle. I mean, when you play her correctly, her damage is really good, but I just can't seem to play characters very well that have that kind of playstyle. So that's why I haven't really used her much. But I do like her. I like her animations. I like her damage when you do get the accumulation going. It's just I'm not great at getting the accumulation. So that's why she's kind of just been sitting here and I've never gave her a CTP because I just don't play those characters very well. Spectrum. So Spectrum used to have a CTP of Rage on, and then I took it off just because I was using her only for leadership, and her damage wasn't as great as some of the other characters I was using, but her damage was still good. So I don't regret ranking her up, especially since her leadership is so good. Just for the leadership, I would have used the rank up materials for her. So, but as you see, I did take the CTP of Rage off, so I don't think she was really worthy of keeping that with some of the other options I have. So Electro. Another one of my more recent ones. I haven't really tried him out a ton yet. CTP of Destruction. I think would like to put a CTP of Rage on him because he seems like he's really strong, but I don't know if he's gonna kind of beat out some of the other characters on my list that I would like to try out or have a CTP of Rage on. So we'll see, because I'm gonna see what kind of damage he does with the Destruction first. Elsa. Elsa. I really like Elsa, so I can't say I regret ranking her up just because, I mean, look at her. She's so adorable. I love Elsa here, and I'm using her as a support, as you can see with the CTP of Insight. Another one that I ranked up for the physical leadership, but I thought she was going to get another uniform because they just gave her Transcendence and then just never gave her a uniform. So I was just hoping that she was going to get a uniform, is also my reasoning why I ranked her up, because I wanted her to be good. I wanted to use her as my, kind of damage dealer standalone character, but no, she's just support. I'm still hoping she'll get a uniform and I can actually use her as a main DPS, because that would be ideal. But for right now, she's support, and like I said, I don't rank her up just because I like Elsa as a character. If I didn't like her as a character, then probably would definitely regret that. Gamora. Gamora is one I transcended just because we got her artifact for free. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to try out Gamora. I haven't tried her out yet because, I have a big backlist of characters that I just need to start doing videos on and try out. And she's one I'm going to try with CTP of Rage because she doesn't look like she'll perform well with a regular damage proc. So Rage is going to be one I'm going to try out on her. And then I'll be able to decide if I regret ranking her up or not. Kate here isn't the same thing as Gamora. I haven't tried her out. I want to try her with Rage, and then we'll see if I regret ranking her up or not. Makari was, again, another character that I needed to get Athena. I know she is amazing, so I need to put something on her, either energy or rage. So I'm going to be putting energy or rage on her, and then hopefully be very happy because she seems to be a beast. So hopefully I won't, regret that. Silk I think is amazing. I love Silk here with the, what is it, the summer days uniform. She is super strong and really good physical damage dealer. Do not regret ranking her up or giving her that energy. Gwenum here. So Gwenum, I really like Gwenum. Very cool outfit, just very cool character. I gave her a mighty CTP of destruction. And it performs really well. I'm quite happy with how it performs. Her damage just wasn't quite high enough for me to want to put a rage on her. She is good though. She's kind of just at the cusp. Like, she does like really good damage, but not great damage to kind of compare with some of those top DPSs that'll help you push higher in the floor or higher in the stages. We got Wave. Wave is just support, so I don't regret ranking her up. I need the support character, so I've been happy with her role. Yelena kind of surprised me. She did more damage than I thought she was going to do when I transcended her, so that's kind of why I just kept the energy on her. I think she's good. I don't use her as much as I should, but I do think she's strong. And Medusa, I loved Medusa when I first ranked her up. Her damage has kind of fallen off quite a bit. Maybe she'll get a new uniform, but don't regret ranking her up because I use her as leadership, and back when I first ranked her up, she was still really good in terms of damage and just getting the job done. So yeah, Medusa is nice. Shadow Shell, she was one I just ranked up because I thought she was cool. She's not great overall. Her damage is low and she doesn't really do a ton, but I don't know, I just like the character. And that is everybody. So that's what the roster is looking like. So we got some stuff to kind of, play around with, some people to try out with CTPs. And this has been quite a long video, but if you're still watching, let me know for characters that you haven't seen me show, like back over here, characters that I can tier 3 or transcend. Let me know if any of those options kind of stand out to you as like really good picks for rage or energy that might do better or on par with some of my current top characters in terms of pushing world boss, because I'm curious to know your guys' opinions on who works really well for you. And yeah, I guess that's going to be it for this video. Don't know if you really enjoyed this kind of style of video, but figure I'd just go over the roster once here, just see what the video does, see if anyone enjoys just watching and seeing my opinion on who I regret ranking up or putting CTPs on. But that's going to be it for this one. Hopefully you enjoyed, and of course I will catch you in the next one.